Zac, and then Henry, covering all the old Broncos news. 3 Super Bowl wins, let's pump those numbers up. This one's for John, this one's for Pat, will the next one be for us? DNVR is the spot, the best content at the top. DNVR is the spot, may the Broncos win.
Again, thank you to Tyler and the Ragers for that intro song.
You gotta have more
submission.
energy after that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
There we go.
Yeah, that one slaps. I believe we have at least one more candidate coming in.
Go, baby. Let's go. Keep them pouring in.
Yes, and like that type of music, you know what it does? Just gets me riled up. Just gets me mad.
No.
And I'm already mad at you guys. So
oh shit! For what?
For disagreeing with me.
I think he's. Wait, are you on my side?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well,
on some things.
I mean, as usual, I'm like kind of somewhere in between without a strong feeling. Yeah.
You got to pick a side, man. We're at war.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Well, we'll get there. All
right, we will get there.
He's Switzerland over here.
Ooh, they have chocolate.
Shout out to our presenting sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook. Get over to DraftKings Sportsbook. If you don't have DraftKings Sportsbook during football season, I just like question everything about you.
Fantasy sports are so done. Like, fantasy sports are not a thing anymore. It is strictly sports betting time.
I kind of agree. I got to admit. I am like jumping back into fantasy a little bit this year just because like some of my buddies made a league and I'm like, I want to be like in a thing with my buddies.
Yep.
Wait till week 4 and
yeah,
you probably don't care.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Unless
then
I
you
just,
forget
like,
to
get a
set your
dope team.
lineup, and then you have to run a beer mile.
Did you have to do that?
I still have to do it, but I did do the other part, the first part.
When does that due?
Well, the thing is, they're all up in Montana. Though I guess there's
Weren't
like
you
4
there a
of us
couple weeks
here.
ago?
I would be happy
Yeah.
to facilitate the beer mile.
Yes.
Yeah, the beer mile is not gonna be fun.
No.
I'll actually allow you to do one like 2 block lap. And you have like since it's a 4 corner thing, you have a beer on every corner.
And they're like strict about it too. Like there's like I guess a specific list of beers that are allowed for beer mile. So like I don't know how it works exactly, but like a Coors Light does not work.
Never heard of that, but
It's awesome.
Palisade Peach Light, I'm sure works.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't light like the most standard piss beer work?
I think that this is actually like a real thing. Like I think there's people who beer mile competitively.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And so there's rules where it has to be like 5% alcohol or like this many calories or like I don't know how exactly they measure it, but there's rules.
We gotta stop making everything into official competition.
Yeah, especially our beer miles.
Like at this point, it's like we don't need sanctioned events for every single thing that people do.
Yes. Beermile.com is a thing. Oh wow, there's like records.
Well, there's a website for everything, Henry.
You do not want to raise Elizabeth Laister in a beer mile.
What are we talking?
So she
Talking to your mic.
Oh yeah, sorry. She's been running what? This looks like she has 7 registered times, including one of 6:25. Her most recent.
I don't think I could do 625 with my electric scooter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, for a beer mile.
No,
with your
just a
electric
mile.
Oh, wow.
Just a mile.
When it shows the standings, it even says like she chose a Bud Light Platinum.
Never heard of it.
Neither have I.
Anyways, all right, let's jump in. So I want to start right here. As practice ended, we did not agree on whether or not on who won the day. Hank, I felt like originally was the most passionate about offense. I came in and said like I think offense got it in the very end with the field goal drive. Zach, you actually never explicitly stated that you thought the defense won the day, but you were certainly pushing back on the idea that the offense won the day.
So 1 week ago when we had our last debate and Ryan Green got us talking about it coming out of practice,
Yep.
I feel like we should release our text message exchange. It was a little spicy. I liked it. We were going back and forth with each other pretty darn good. And yeah, Hank was pretty quiet in there. But in that text message exchange, I did say something like, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just didn't like how offense won the day, power, strong. You felt about it. And so that's what I was doing. I was just giving pushback.
I didn't feel like I came in that strong with it.
So I was,
I said I had a draw until the final drive.
Yeah, this is like a relationship argument. It's like it's not what you said; it was the tone.
Oh, it's
exactly. You're pretty much 100% right. So then, of course, I had to
Least favorite
present.
sentence in the world.
I had to present the other side to that. But then going through my notes when I was writing up what happened today at practice, boy, I think I'm on defense. I think, but I mean, I got to say, in my opinion, it was so close to a push, but anything of more than like the offense slightly winning, I'm not for.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that's where I was at, is offense slightly wins. And it did for me come down to the final drive, which I have the notes here.
A lot of white space again, Hen. I can
sure.
see it.
That
Flip to the other page. Whoa, every third line.
Those are my subheads.
Why would you put anything under them?
I do. Subhead, written.
scribble.
Subhead,
Scribble,
written.
scribble.
Every
Subhead,
line
written.
doesn't need a subhead.
Every 2 lines needs a
He
subhead.
introduces every line. Line 1.
Anyways, I have this whole notebook. It's not like I'm going to finish it. Like, I might as well use the space.
I guess.
Okay.
See, we're just chippy.
Broncos get the ball. 156 and a half, starting at the 32-yard line. Nice return by Montrell Washington, I assume.
Yeah, has to be.
First play is a slant to Jerry Jeudy, which is broken up by Isang Bassi. First time we've said his name in a positive way.
Yep.
So we had this debate. You were there, right? On the
think-
sideline, the debate about what happened there?
Yeah, I think
If
it was.
if it
yeah,
was
yeah.
a PBU or a drop
Yep.
there.
So glad I don't have people debating in my ears to distract me.
I got to say, I walked away from this one because I was like, I can't
Yeah.
even. The ball, okay, great coverage.
Wait, someone said catch?
No. Whether it was a PBU or a drop. It's great coverage by saying Bassi. It hits Jerry Jeudy in the hands and the numbers and just pops out. Sang was there, good coverage, but it's not like Jerry caught it and then Sang Bassi ripped it away. No, it just went right through, smacked off his chest.
What it looked like to me, and actually this is one where you guys probably had the better view just having it
Front.
facing you. It just looked like to me like he reached around and got his hand inside of Jerry's hands and was probably just able to like knock it
I
out.
thought it was more of like a contact thing. Like a little pop in the back.
Yep,
And I
that's
think
I didn't see a hand inside.
exactly.
And so you got to catch those.
And I
Yes.
think the reason Zach left was because I said Jerry should have caught it, but it was a PBU.
yeah,
I think in the stats it would go down as a PBU.
oh man, a bad stat then.
Well, it's just pass broken up. Like you were there and it caused them to drop it.
But then I feel like that should be any time a defender's in an area and it goes through the
If
receiver's
you
hands.
touch them.
That's all it is a touch.
A
We're
firm
playing
touch.
flag football now?
A puck.
But I mean, that doesn't really matter. You're right, Ryan. It
Yeah.
was an incompletion to start the drive
Incomplete. So we go to 2nd and 10.
on a drop.
Sure do.
Slant to Kendall Hinton for 10 to 12.
Yep,
Moves
I
the
had
chains.
12.
Ojemudia in coverage.
Okay. Then it goes flat to Javonte Williams for 6 yards. Then Jerry Jeudy on a slant for 3 yards. Oh, wait, was that a slant?
Yep,
It was.
Okay, it was a slant.
Maybe, yeah.
For 3 yards, it was like he could kind of come across.
Yep.
It took a little more time. Then it goes, so we're now 3rd and 1.
Yep.
And
The offense is 46.
I hated the 2 play calls that came after this. First one ended up in a throwaway,
Yep.
which I don't know what Russ is doing. Just run the ball. Like,
Yeah.
they brought 3.
Yep.
And so he was just back there forever.
Yep.
First of all, when he sees 3, run the ball.
Yep.
Like, and first of all, it should have just been a called run from the start. You had 3 timeouts.
I think that on these short yardage, because they were like going shotgun in short yardage, and it's like, well, that must be because they know running game doesn't mean anything.
That's what I was going to get to at the end of this is it's so hard. Like, let's say, so they don't get it on 3rd and 1. It goes to 4th and 1. Real quick, do you think in a real game Nathaniel Hackett goes for this?
Absolutely not. No chance. And that is kind of where my argument for defense actually winning today comes in.
Okay. First of all,
would have been a
I
60
think
yarder.
they run the ball on 3rd and 1, but the problem is you can't really tell. Like, it's almost a guarantee that the running back's going to get 1 yard unless someone just gets right through the line. Because how are you going to say he was down? Like, the offense would be like, he got it. The defense would be like, he didn't get it. So I think that's why they didn't run it.
And
just so
39 seconds left.
So starting from there, we're kind of like abandoning reality, right? And that's why I'm okay with abandoning reality on the next play, which
I don't know though, because they could have run the ball. They run the ball during practice all the time.
but I haven't seen them run the ball in a short yardage, move the ball once.
And there's only 39 seconds left. So
And
that factors in as well.
But they
does,
did have
yeah.
3 timeouts.
But probably, yeah.
So they probably run it. I'm curious. I'm starting to believe that Nathaniel Hackett might be like analytics, just like let the analytics say like, hey, what's the percentage? How does this change our win percentage? Because obviously the biggest swing is going to be if you score a touchdown. The other biggest swing would be if you don't get that fourth down and you give them the ball. You're giving you're probably giving them 3 points almost automatically.
Yep.
But I think your win rate if you score on that possession just goes up pretty significantly. And I'm starting to believe like he went for that 4th and 1, that Montreal Washington one too. I'm just like, is he going to be a little bit crazy with the going for it?
I mean, in that one, it's like an easy equation where it's just, are you going to pick it up? Because you punt it, nobody scores, same spot. And when you're at midfield, it's like either you're getting the ball 1st and 10 right there, or they're getting the ball 1st and 10 right there. So it's just like, is it better than 50% that you're going to pick it up? And I think it is. So I wouldn't be it's just so hard to say a coach would go for it there because it seems like a bad decision.
I gotta say, and I don't know this. I have to imagine analytics say kick the ball, punt the ball away, because you'd be giving them the ball on your 46-yard line, so they would already be in field goal range right there. I think the defense at that time had 1 timeout because the defense had already burned 1 timeout earlier in the drive, and that to me, in a tied game, just would not be smart to give them 3 points instead of just keeping it 0-0. I think Hackett's punting it there because otherwise you're also looking at a 71-yard field goal. You're not going to kick that field goal.
What was interesting to me is they never even considered ending the drill there.
Well, I'm pretty sure
So to me, it's almost like they had told him you have 4 downs.
Yeah, I think so. But I think that was because they weren't going to bring on Brandon for a field goal. And also,
What would that have been, 70 yards?
71, yep.
Yeah.
And then also when asked about,
Yep.
well, let's just continue to go through the drive because I have something that I think backs my point up.
Okay. Very next play, they throw it again on 4th and 1, which again tells you they just weren't running this thing. And
The defense was 4. They had 4 linemen and 2 linebackers close.
because they lined up under center, I believe.
No, he was in shotgun.
all the
on
receivers
4th
are
and-
on the
Oh
left.
no, they lined up under center, and then the defense called a timeout, and then they
Yes.
came out.
There we go.
In the shotgun, it goes to Kendall Hinton for the first down.
Yep.
Wasn't easy.
Nope.
I think it was 3rd read. Got to it, which again just scared the hell out of me. I'm like, what are you guys doing throwing the ball here back to back time? Then he goes for. I actually have a gap in my notes.
It was just essentially an overthrow.
He goes for Jerry
Yep.
Jeudy deep. Doesn't have it, and then I don't know what happens on the next.
Well,
play.
so 1st and 10, he just threw it. It looked like it was a throwaway. Threw it about a yard over
yeah.
a receiver. Then he went to
he had
Jeudy.
Kendall Hinton there.
Yeah, and maybe it slipped out. It just looked like it was such a bad overthrow that I kind of gave Russ the benefit of the doubt there, but he did have him. Kendall had a step. Then the 2nd and 10 with 16 seconds left. He went to Jeudy with Bassey in coverage, and that was incomplete as well.
There's pressure.
And then you have 3rd and 10, balls on the 42-yard line. The defense is 42, so you could have a 59-yard field goal, 8 seconds left. You do have a timeout. A lot of coaches there, though, would say, I'm not risking it. We can't risk, Russ running around and then throwing the ball, and the play takes 9 seconds, and then you just missed out on 3 points.
You got to trust your quarterback there.
Yeah, and what Hackett said there when he was asked about, did you consider kicking the field goal, he said, well, this was practice. I wasn't going to just send Brandon McManus out. We were going to have fun with this. So I think he kind of took that approach with
I
the
hate
4th
that.
and 1,
He said
2.
Russ gave him a look too.
Yes, he said Russ gave him a mean look that if he didn't go for it, he was going to be in trouble. And then he said,
Power dynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And what we learned from Nathaniel last week about these move the ball situations, Nathaniel's in Russ's ear, giving him suggestions. Russ is making the calls. So, I mean, Nathaniel hasn't tried to hide who has the power in these situations. And these aren't just the first quarter situations. These are the most important situations in a game.
And
It's
I
like
think
a pitcher-catcher thing, right? Like Russ, or like Nathaniel Hackett's the catcher. Russ is the pitcher. Nathaniel Hackett throws out a pitch. Russ can shake it off and go to the next one.
Yeah, but this is then like even more so. This is the manager coming out to pull the pitcher, and the pitcher just says nope, and the manager just goes back into the dugout.
That happens.
And I think it's the first look into like what this offense is, where it's like Hackett runs the offense like it's the Hackett offense until you get to these last 2 minutes, and then it's like Russell Wilson, you do your 2-minute thing, and there's that separation.
I would actually, and I totally understand why it works this way. I would prefer Nathaniel Hackett calling the plays even in the 2-minute.
Well, Nathaniel's already given up within 2 weeks. Not given up, but given him this power. It just shows you, I mean, and we're not shocked that Russ has the power. Russ, until today, has had the most power inside the building. We'll see if that changes.
Okay, so they make the 48-yard field goal, and that to me, or so on the fourth, or on that 8-second play, they go to the flat, right, and
They go to the sideline. Kendall Hinton makes a great catch, just gets his feet down as he's kind of falling to the ground, and then they're able to call timeout if Kendall didn't go out of bounds.
All right.
So they pick up 11 there. So now you're looking at the balls on the 31-yard line with 3 seconds left.
So they get the 48-yard field goal, and to me, it was like you said it well. You're like that drive didn't do much for me, and it's like there wasn't anything special about it, but it accomplished the goal, which was go score at the end of the half. Like you'd like to get touchdown there, but you also have to be smart about the way that you're going through that. You want to take time off the clock. You don't want to give them too much time, and so to me, it's like let's say there was an available, you could just, it was a tie game, and they could have gotten 7 points, but they got 3 points, and that breaks the tie for me.
And I mean, the 68 yards is a long way to go with less than 2 minutes. And it's like it happens, and with Russell Wilson, it's on the table totally. But getting a touchdown there is tough work.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, and instead they go less than 40 yards there, but they do pick up some key things. I just think Nathaniel Hackett does not go for it on 4th and 1, and then we're talking about in a real game situation, well, the defense wins this right here.
Well, Russ also threw it away on 3rd and 1. Like, I almost feel like that's unlikely to happen in that scenario.
But he did that. And
I know,
sure,
but I'm saying because he knew he had 4.
Potentially, but so what happens on that 3rd down? See,
I think he takes off.
We just don't know.
I think he takes off.
We just don't. Now, one thing that I was really impressed with on the offense today, but specifically on that drive, Kendall Hinton. Yeah. Now, when I was on that show yesterday where I almost made a crazy clip on it, I said that Kendall Hinton's going to benefit the most from Tim Patrick going down because Kendall Hinton, I think, is going to prove himself as being the dependable receiver. Because right now, I think he's probably the guy that Russ feels like he can count on the most just to catch a pass, not to make an incredible play, not to go out and have a 100-yard receiving game. And today he came up and showed that. And I think this was a huge practice for Kendall Hinton making the team.
You brought up that show. We actually have an exclusive with Alexis Perry regarding Zac Gate yesterday. If you didn't see the clip or watch the show yesterday, you have to go see it. This was one of my favorite moments in show history.
I will say, I don't think he should be nearly as mortified as he was, given the fact, I knew that we were over video and that there was a graphic coming and there was some beautiful scenic shots of the UCL Training Center. So as I'm reading my script, looking down, I just hear a finger over here, just brushing the hair down. Honestly, didn't even register. I completely appreciated the effort from him. So,
I mean, Zach, I would think you'd be thankful that he would get the stray hair out of there.
He's like my brother from another mother, so I was just so appreciative of his help. But yeah, it really wasn't a big deal.
Whew, Ryan and Alexis coming through for me. However, if my finger looked like that doing that, I'm even more mortified now.
I saw Alexis today and I was like, I'm so mad you didn't just bury Zach in that video.
I know.
I would have I wish I knew it was gonna happen because I would have texted her at least pretend you're gonna bury be I honestly don't know what he was doing. It's we were almost live, and the fact that he would just do something like that on camera, and then if she was like, I'm just playing, I needed that.
I would have not been able to show up to practice today. Wouldn't have been able to show my face. Just thinking about that, I'm sweating.
Okay, so speaking of, we keep closing this door. I'm so anti-closing the door.
I know.
Is that what ventilation is?
Yes, that's how we get the air conditioning in here.
Oh, good.
You missed it, Zach, but they had it open during bets. Spano walked in and just joined the conversation because he didn't realize they were live.
He didn't know we were live. He just started talking to us. I was like, you want a microphone? You want to join the show? And he was like, you guys are live right now?
Oh my God. See, that's what was me yesterday.
Exactly. Okay, so I don't know. If this was like a quarterback scoreboard, what would we have scored it?
Quarterback. So 10 points.
10 points available, yep.
5.5 defense, 5.5 offense.
That's 11.
Wow, you're right. You're right. Oh man. 5.5 defense, 4.5 offense.
Okay. I would have gone the other way.
Okay. Still the half points.
And
Yeah.
I think a big reason is a couple of plays that we really disagree on. And maybe looking back on this, like this would have made it a 6-4 win for the offense to me. The one that I'll be the most passionate about is a sweet reverse that they ran to Jerry Jeudy, which was cool because they ran like there was motion coming out of the backfield going the way of the reverse. And then as they snap it, he turns and Jerry comes around. So he gets like a lead blocker coming off the edge with him. And I hope there's video. I hope they have a video.
There will be.
Because Jerry absolutely diced the defense. Like he got to the edge, cut all the way back, got all the way to the open field. And I would maybe be willing to accept that Pat Surtain got his hands on him on like the 2-yard line, 60 yards the other way. But no one got him before that. And so to me, I was like, that's a touchdown. Like, that's a touchdown for the offense. In a real game, like, I'm assuming Pat gets to him at the very end and he just, like, extends the ball and gets a touchdown. You guys both think it was like a 10-yard gain, which is crazy from my view.
Yeah, it was a 10-yard gain. He probably picks up the first down. And Ryan, welcome to training camp where every single run looks like a touchdown. Jerry was surrounded.
You got to stop him.
At 10 yards, you don't touch these guys in practice.
They literally touch these guys on every play.
Not the wide receivers when they're doing that. He would have been tackled within about 10, 12 yards.
Yep.
There were so many guys right there. I love the play design.
Did you hear the offense going nuts as he broke it?
They do that every single
Oh my God,
play.
that's so you're exaggerating so much. They always touch him down. Always. They never don't put a hand on anyone except for the quarterback.
No.
Yes.
If it was Javonte, they would have touched him. Like in terms of like the physicality.
They do that on every play.
There were two guys right in front of him, and he did like a juke back, and it's they just kind of stood there.
Yeah.
Jerry was juking everyone out of their shoes today.
Yeah.
Like he had a sick one on the sidelines where he caught it and like it looked like he was gonna jump, go out of bounds and just like jump cut back.
That's one where I do think he would have gotten by him.
I'm so passionate about the fact that Jerry was housing that reverse.
Now, do you think he's still housing the other one that we need to talk about?
Yeah, and that one is more of just me like. I don't know what the word is, like projecting. I'm saying like once he gets the ball in the open field, you're just not stopping him. One-on-one. Like I just don't think anyone can tackle him one-on-one when he's just running. Like he has too many moves. His bag is too deep. That I was like he caught that ball up the seam, and it was just him and the safety.
He was like the safety was in perfect position
Yeah.
though to tackle him. That's where it gets me is the safety was right there. And I actually don't remember what safety it was.
I don't
but
either.
if it were the real Broncos defense, it would have been Justin Simmons right there. Justin's making that tackle.
And it's probably worth noting that was Moody on him because Surtain was sitting that one out, not for like a good reason, but
There's actually we need to talk about this.
okay.
The entire third, and I didn't mean to cut you off if you want to keep going.
Oh no. That was it.
The entire move the ball period that we talked about was against a backup cornerback group. Kwan Williams was not playing, Ronald Darby was not playing, and Pat Surtain was not playing. So the fact that it was that difficult for the offense concerned me a little bit. Now,
How about let's talk about a backup wide receiver room other than Jerry.
other than Jerry,
Yeah.
you still had one starter.
Yeah.
And so to me, that
He
that's
still had
me a bit.
starters on the defensive line.
Yeah, but you didn't have starters on. I mean, you made it obvious that they were only throwing the ball, and they couldn't dice up this backup room, even though they were able to pick on Moody early in practice. He also had an interception, and then for the second half of practice, you also didn't have these guys. So then it was Moody as your number one corner.
Yeah, what was Pat doing out? Did anyone ask?
Yeah, Pat is. This is incredible. Kareem Jackson including today, has had 2 vet rest days, or as Nathaniel Hackett calls them and continues to call them, old man days.
He got asked about today, and he was just like, yeah, he's old.
Yep. He's old.
He's
no
old.
one else has had a vet rest day except Pat Surtain got the second half of practice off just because.
No, that's the Von Miller treatment. Straight up.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Right.
It's showing just how good he is and how they don't need to see anything more and how he's ruining practice.
Yeah, but that's legitimately what it is. They just don't want to say it because it's like putting down the offense a little bit or the receivers. But he doesn't need rest. He's just too good.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're saying that he is so good as a second-year player that they don't need to see any more from him.
Also, I'm
Totally.
sure Kareem, or I would guess Kareem, negotiated that into his contract,
Probably every week or something.
which is why he gets it and no one else does.
Yep. Because Hackett's
Yeah.
kind of giving vet rest days to everyone, to 1 out of every 3 days.
Yeah. Cortland, any update there?
Not good. He's got a shoulder thing, according to Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett is, of all the coaches I've covered, has been the most non-discreet on giving information away. So he's going to be very. He's not going to give us.
Coy.
Yes. And so the fact that Cortland Sutton was out there but not practicing in any of the team periods with the shoulder thing after smashing down on it really hard yesterday scares me a bit.
Good news, he was in pads, though.
I was going to say that the fact that he put the pads on tells me it's not that bad.
I hope you're right.
I guess the first time I would be concerned is if he's not practicing against the Cowboys.
And that's coming up.
Yep, and I would just be like, okay, this is more than nothing.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. A few other quick injury things. Ronald Darby not practicing today. He has a chest contusion, whatever that means. That's not good after he went down hard yesterday. Better than I guess it could be. A broken rib. He was really grabbing his wrist yesterday too, so it could be something like that, but it's not. Greg Dulcich continues to just not take steps forward. He's on the side field. And then you have Innie. He was on the side field as well. And I think that was everyone. KJ Hamler also on the side field today. So he and Dulcich.
AJ, anything?
No update.
No update.
Just the same. Just step forward and 2 steps back. It
Hackett
seems.
did say Darby's day-to-day. He got asked a second time, and he said day-to-day.
So, just going back to the conversations we've had in the offseason, Gregory, Dulcich, and Billy Turner, I'm on like full tilt panic mode.
100%. Billy Turner looks like a robot out there because he goes out to practice. He's not wearing pads or anything, and he has a sleeve on his right leg. He has a sleeve and then a massive brace on his left leg. He looks like a guy that is not close to returning, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, and until they're out there, you have to like keep your expectation meter at 0.
Yep. And so Calvin Anderson, we got to talk to him today, and he's taken every snap at right tackle. He's your right tackle until someone else shows up.
Shows up.
To at least compete. Like
Yeah.
Tom Compton, just to be like, I'll take a few of these reps just to see what can happen. But right now, there's nobody.
Okay, anything else that was debatable at practice?
Who was the interception? So Russell Wilson did throw a rare interception today. He threw just pretty much a 60-yard
How
bomb
many
down
does he
the
have
right.
in camp? Like
down-
3?
3 or 4. Yeah,
Okay.
not many. So that's why it was a rare interception. He threw a deep bomb, and when he released this thing, I thought, oh, man, someone's going to be open because of how far this is. And then O.J. Mudia was just, it was like he was running the route. He caught the ball in stride. If he was a receiver, it would have been an easy touchdown. He would have just strutted into the end zone. And Jerry Jeudy was about, half a step back, a full step back of O.J. Mudia on that?
It was his fault.
Who?
Jerry's.
Jerry's.
He completely and utterly gave up on the route before Russ even threw it, which is like maybe I put a little bit more on Russ for not noticing like, oh, Jerry's not even trying out there. But I think it's a learning experience for him. What he needs to know is that Russ is you're an eligible receiver until the whistle is blown.
Yeah.
Like Russ is going to create, and you should be always ready. Because Russ bought a little time there, and I'm pretty sure Jerry was running a clear-out route, which is why he gave up on it. It's just like, yeah, this one's not coming to me. Like, I'm just supposed to take the safety off the top or, the corner, take a player out of the play. And that's what I'm guessing is the reason why he wasn't trying on the route. But Russ just like buys some time and is like, oh, 1-on-1 on a post. Like, let's take it. Jerry versus Ojemudia. Like, this is a great matchup for us. And Jerry didn't even know the ball was coming for like a half second. And then he tries to make up the ground a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's just unacceptable. Like, and I get it. It's easy to say, like, it's just training camp. Like, who cares? But I'm hearing way too many things. Like, I didn't like what you said Hackett said about, like, oh, it's practice. Like, isn't the whole thing, like, building habits in practice?
Right.
So I don't like seeing that. There's another one that Jerry had on the sideline, which, again, is not, like, necessarily an effort thing as much as an awareness thing. It's just, like, you got to keep coming back to the ball. Like, he had one where Russ throws it to him on the sideline, and he just fades away from it a little bit, and that gives Pat Surtain a window to dive in there and get his hand. And it's just like, you got to finish every play, like, till the very last second. You got to come back to that ball and make sure you get your hands out there so Pat Surtain can't knock it away. It was the full Jerry experience today because, in my opinion, he had 1.5 touchdowns. And then 1.5 really bad plays.
And then there,
like, damn, dude, come on.
And then there was one more extra thing, which I think just shines light on the full Jerry Jeudy experience, like we're talking about, was during a water break. Typically, or not typically.
Wow, is this an observation?
I think there was too much going on. Everybody on that sideline saw it.
Okay.
It was specifically a former player on the sideline that was really pissed about this that we were listening to talk about, because what happened is
I feel like I know exactly who it is.
potentially and so after or during the water break, everyone gets their water with their position groups, and who knows if they're actually going over football, who knows if it's actually like an important time of coaching, but the coaches are also there with their position groups. And Jerry's over there smack talking with the defensive backs. He's the only orange jersey in that group of defensive backs. And then there was some John. It seemed like funny, but then it seemed like, okay, now we're actually getting serious into smack talking. And it's just like, just go with your group, just be focused on practice right now instead of, thinking that someone knew the route you were going to run and that's why you weren't able to catch a pass.
There's the first ball that hit the ground, too.
Yeah.
Oh, the slot fade.
Yeah.
It was
Slant
like
and
it
go.
seemed like an option route between a slant and a slot fade.
Yep, exactly.
And he ran the slant
Yep.
and Russ threw the slot fade.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a constantly an issue with him. And, I think the word we've used in the past is maturity. And it just feels like it's still there. Like, you kind of hoped Russ would come in, put him under his wing. And I'm not, like, panicking about Jerry Jeudy. I think he's still going to put up big numbers this year. But it just feels like he's one step away from being a pro.
Right. And entering year 3. You understand that year 1. But then also on the other side of it, you see the talent. And even though I do think he was going to be tackled on both of those, they're still really good plays. And
electric.
And he's so electric, and you see it. And Ryan, if they run that jet sweep 4 times, I bet he breaks at least one of those. And so it's just because of how talented he is. No. Because they don't tackle him.
You just have to touch him. Just put your hand on him. I'll give you
It does
credit.
remind you, like when you're on the hill and it's like the first 3 runs
Yep,
of practice. It's
exactly.
just like, oh my goodness, they keep scoring touchdowns. Like somebody next to you just screaming about it.
yeah.
It's like, oh no, they're not.
And
You'll
from
pick
my
up on it.
perspective, oh shit, did I miss something? Oh no, yeah,
No.
it's just him running.
My observation is that fans, like, so I went over into like Alexis's tent, catch some shade during a special
Big
teams
time.
period.
Little flex.
And Mark Schlereth was there and Steve Atwater were there. And, like, they're just trying to watch practice and they're just getting bombarded for autographs. Like, the whole time. It's just like, man. And, like, I understand, like, it sucks. It's such a bad position for them to be in because, like, if you say no, you're an ass.
Right. Yeah.
And if you say yes, you don't get to see practice.
Right.
Like, legitimately, like, Steve at one point was like, sorry, I'm just not doing autographs right now. And, like, I feel bad because I know he doesn't want to do that in his heart,
Yeah.
but he has to watch practice. He has to go talk about it.
Right.
Mark, on the other hand, like, missed the whole team period just
Yeah.
trying to be a nice guy. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, God, that's got to be tough for those
That's
guys.
when you should have stood up and signed autographs for him.
Yeah, I mean, there was, like, a couple people who might have wanted mine.
Hey, love it.
People who might have.
Most odd of the observation is that this kid came up and had Mark Schlereth sign his Tupac shirt.
Wow, that is
Just like,
very odd.
just like right next to Tupac's face.
That is odd. Henry, do you have one?
No, we hadn't done those in so long. I didn't think of
Yeah.
one.
It's true.
All right. On the other side, I'll give what I had Russ cooking today. But first, want to remind you guys about the tailgate this weekend. God, it's going to be sick.
Yeah.
You got to come. If you're coming to the game, like I'm telling you, we said this yesterday, but the best part of your game, like this isn't necessarily true of the regular season, but of the preseason, I guarantee you will have more fun at the tailgate than you will have at the game. Not to, put down the game or anything, but the tailgate's going to be incredible. All you can drink Breck brews, all you can eat Mile High City sliders, which is bringing their food truck into our tailgate, which is going to be so cool. We'll have bags out there or cornhole. I call it both. I'm not passionate either way.
I don't get mad at someone when they say the other one.
To me, it's like they're cornhole boards. Like I would never say bags boards.
Oh,
that feels weird.
Oh, yeah. CHGO was getting after you
Yeah,
today,
they came
right?
after me for that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm fine with you calling it bags, but no one says get out the bags boards.
Definitely not. No.
So we'll have that going. We have all sorts of other games: can jam, beer pong, flip cup. It should be an absolute blast. So make sure you come to the tailgate. You can find the link to it all over all of our socials. It's over on Eventbrite, so you can search DNVR there too. But get signed up. Get signed up and come hang out with us at the tailgate.
And then right after the tailgate, you can bet on Broncos Cowboys preseason game.
Under.
You can bet on anything over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Take the under. That's one Ryan's giving you. If you want to cheer for the Broncos, you can take them a -2. Or if you want to put down lines for week 1, you can already do that. Broncos 4.5-point underdog against Seattle. Is that what it's at right now over at DraftKings?
4.5-point fave.
4.5-point favorite, of course. And I love just looking at these week 1. You can already start getting in on week 2 lines right now. Maybe even dabble on the Jets game week 2 because Broncos, I think that line's going to go up even more after Broncos beat Seattle. But you can get in on all the lines over at DraftKings Sportsbook. And right now, if you use promo code DNVR, you can get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Meaning if you place a bet and it does not hit, well, DraftKings will give you that money in a free bet so you can try to win that money back. So you pretty much have 2 shots at one bet and up to $1,000 if you want your first bet over at DraftKings to be a big one. So download the app, head to the App Store now, download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now, and use promo code DNVR when you sign up to get this can't-miss offer. That's code DNVR at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Colorado only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
And Breckenridge Brewery. You get to see them out at the tailgate, too. We're going to have a bunch of Breckenridge beers. That's one of those things where it's like, I think I know the details of the tailgate, but it's like, I'm going to stare at Ryan while I say this and make sure I don't get cut
that's
off.
correct.
Yes, free Breckenridge beers. Well, I mean, you got to buy the ticket to get in. But once you get in, free sliders, free Breckenridge beers. Can't go wrong. Who knows what we're going to have out there? I don't even think Ryan knows that. But Strawberry Sky, Vanilla Porter, the Avalanche, Juice Drop IPA, whatever we have out there is going to be incredible. Last time we had a whole bunch. There was like 7 different kinds. And then there's the seltzers too. Who knows?
We have buckets full.
Yes. I still want to try the hard soda. I still haven't got my hands on one of those. Hopefully we have some of those out there. But we'll see. Hard soda? Can we get the hard soda?
Oh, I think we actually have someone here so we can just put that on
Wait,
ice.
really?
A little Tuesday afternoon drink for you, Hank.
Oh, wow. Especially if we maybe go with that Rockies
Once
game.
you get into training camp, days don't matter anymore, so you can just have drinks every evening.
It's very true. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to explain that to my
It's a
girlfriend.
training camp grind.
Yep. I had one too many tequilas on the rocks before I played my Madden game last night.
So it didn't
that's
go
what
well.
it
Got a
was.
little loose with the ball.
That's
Didn't
what
go
it
well.
was.
I just made 2 really dumb throws, and otherwise it would have been a great game.
Wow, I'm sorry.
2 pick sixes.
If you can't come to the tailgate, you can still get Breckenridge beers. Use the beer locator at breckbrew.com. Put in your zip code, click on whatever you want to try, and it'll just pop up with a little map for you.
There you go. All right. What did Russ cook today? I went with hamburger helper.
Oh.
Are you not a fan? I love hamburger helper.
I've definitely never had it.
So, I mean, the big thing is it's quick and easy.
Okay.
That was something that he did great today, right? He took the quick and easy throws, and he did it at a great rate. And all you got to do is just add meat. What did he do at the end? He gets a scoring drive. That was him adding the meat. And so that was the meal. I haven't had hamburger helper since I was like a little kid, but I used to love it. It's like pasta and ground beef, like with like a cheese sauce. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Henry?
I'll go with damn, I'm trying to think. Like it's some sort. We'll go chicken Alfredo. Chicken Alfredo.
It's kind of similar, just a different meat.
And I mean, just
Not as easy.
A little bit classed up. Yeah, not as easy. We'll call it just better. But yeah, I mean, it's Alfredo. It's good. It's solid. Like it's pretty hearty. It's not like super hearty, but it is enough, like a nice filling meal. It has the different pieces. We'll throw a couple pieces of broccoli in there too. Yeah, nothing all that flashy about it, but just a nice, solid, good dinner that you can get excited about.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'm going to go with Trader Joe's. Sells these Madras lentils that they come like pre-made. They're supposed to have a nice little sauce to them. Lentils, you cut a little hole in the top, put it in the microwave 1 minute. So like Ryan said, quick and easy. You also take a frozen pack of rice, throw it in the microwave, then you pour the lentils over the rice. I love beans. I love lentils. So I'm always so excited for this meal. You dump the lentils on top of the rice, and then it just underwhelms. The flavors just aren't there.
You probably need to add salt to that.
I think you probably do, but it's like it's supposed to have all the seasonings in it, but then it disappoints me. But at the end of the day, it fills me up. It lasts for a long time. But when I take a step back, I'm like, man, once again, just a little underwhelmed by that. And so that's kind of how I felt today, and how I described it to you guys before the pod was Russ's day in my mind was 80% completion, which is fantastic. 205 yards for a game.
You're guessing,
Zero
right?
touchdown. Yes, I'm guessing. 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. So it's like, wow, one thing was really good, but the rest is just like, But then they did, I guess, win the game with that if we're going to go off the final drive.
All right. That's not a meal, by the way. Lentils over rice.
It's been
That's a side.
It's been my dinner for a couple of nights.
Need some protein in there. I guess there's protein in there.
Yeah, there's a little protein in the lentils.
Fair enough. Yeah, I know exactly like the type of frozen food you're talking about. Always got to add salt and probably some hot sauce on top of that.
Yeah. You're right. But I'm always fooled because it's like ready to go.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, did you say microwave rice?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's the only way to do it.
Have you not been exposed to this yet?
That's what rice makers are for.
Put in the microwave? No.
Why don't you have a rice maker?
I'm not getting a rice
very
maker.
sophisticated.
How long does that take?
Everyone has a rice maker.
No
That's not
way.
true.
No
Yeah, that's not true.
way.
That just means you have it.
Do you have a rice maker?
Of course not.
Oh! You guys are living in the goddamn Stone Ages.
I'm not saying that you're like not sophisticated for having it. It's just I don't think it's as common as you think.
I thought that was just like everyone has a microwave, everyone has a rice maker.
No.
Oh, Zach doesn't have a microwave either. So.
I also don't have a
Oh wait, no, you just said microwave rice. You're back
Yeah,
on the
that's
microwave
messed up.
drive.
Yeah, I do have a microwave now. It's not in my kitchen though.
Well, my rice has less poisonous rays in it.
It's probably true.
Is that true? I don't know that they stick.
That's what Zach said when he was anti-microwave for a couple of weeks.
Wow.
I still never stand in front of the microwave because I'm not sure what rays are coming.
Oh
from
my
there.
goodness.
Okay,
I did tell you guys about the day where my microwave went without the door closing. And so I was like trying to figure it out and I got blasted. And it was
How
like
are you
it's all
still here, dude?
That makes sense.
I don't think that's like a quick thing.
Oh, it's a
I think that's like a long term something goes wrong. But I realized because I was just like looking in it, I was like, wait, this isn't supposed to happen. The microwave is on and it's rotating. Like this is crazy. I was gonna yell like, hey Lexi, look, like, and I was like, no, you gotta shut this thing. And I got a solid 5-10 seconds to just bang.
Okay,
Wow.
so a couple things here. One, that I'm pretty sure that's a wives' tale, the standing in front of the microwave thing.
Okay.
Two,
Still not gonna.
did
do
you
it.
guys know that new microwaves, like you can put tinfoil in them?
No
No
way.
Yes.
way.
Mine's fairly new. If I try this
This
tonight
is a
and
trick.
it
So
explodes,
I'm
Ryan-
not
No,
like
this
I'm
is a trick.
anti this. I'm just not gonna take my chances with this.
Yeah.
But there was a whole debate. I'm not gonna put them on blast. Someone that works at our company posted in our Slack channel like, "Hey, can I microwave this?" And it was like the Chipotle bowl with like the tin thing. And I was like, "Absolutely not!
Yeah.
What, are you crazy?"
Yeah.
And then a bunch more people chimed in and they're like, "No, that hasn't been like that since like the 90s. You can like it's not gonna blow it up if you do that."
That feels like a trap.
It
That
really
feels like
does
somebody's
feel
That's what I was
like a
saying.
trap. One time as a kid, I took a chip bag and emptied it, so it's just the bag of a chip. You put it in the microwave for
shrinks?
I don't know, yeah, and it shrinks so tiny,
Whoa.
and it's
Yeah.
like super thick. Yeah, it's really cool.
There's
It
also
probably
like
runs your
microwaving grapes. It makes like plasma, like
Oh,
It like
really?
spreads out.
no, it like shoots out.
In the off season, we gotta have like a microwave day.
Yeah.
Some microwave show.
Like hook up a microwave in the parking lot.
Yes.
Microwave
Yeah, it can
everything.
end with an explosion.
We need one from the 90s and we need a new one. See what happens.
Once again, one-on-ones completely irrelevant. Salbert beats Justin Simmons.
Wow.
But I could watch the Jerry Jeudy Pat Surtain one-on-one matchup all day long. Like that's the
Yep.
only thing that I get out of it, and it's only because Pat Surtain is so good that even when you give him a massive handicap, he still hangs with Jerry Jeudy. It's incredible.
It
Yeah.
took a perfect throw.
Yep.
Like it was to that back pylon, like down the field. It took a perfect throw. To
And
get
it was
that
a
in there.
triple move.
I was
Jerry
gonna.
stuttered off the line, went to 10 yards, stuttered again, and then went. And I was like, there was no way there's enough time for that in real life.
And that's what I feel like Jerry isn't getting enough credit for the move he put on because he did get a yard of separation
Yep.
after that second move, and then credit to Pat, he was able to catch up to pretty much be on Jerry's right on his back when the ball came, and then it was a really good throw.
Perfect throw.
But I mean, most of the time Jerry's going to be a lot more wide open after making a move like that if it's against any other corner.
It was just too much stuttering, like in my opinion, for if it wasn't one-on-ones. It was still great route, great catch.
Yep.
He's not getting any credit for the catch. Of course, if he dropped it, you'd be getting
Oh
buried.
boy! And that was round two.
was
Round
round two.
one, Pat just did a classic Pat Surtain swap.
just hilarious to watch.
The cool thing is like it was a back shoulder-ish throw that I was like, oh, Jerry's got he's got eyes on this. He's gonna make this catch. And then out of nowhere, just Surtain hand.
Surtain just like get that shit out.
It was honestly like Surtain knew exactly what was going to happen. He's like, I'm just going to wait till the last second to make a play on it, and he did.
Yep. All right.
I wish there was a third.
I know.
Break the tie.
They were standing there for like 3 reps on the other side, and I was like, come on, give it to me.
Yeah.
We should just get 10 of those in a row.
Oh, I wish. Well, they did one-on-ones by popular demand, according to Hackett. So maybe if we can get enough popular demand for only Jerry and Pat Surtain one-on-ones, he'll do it.
Yes.
Practice by popular demand. Interesting strategy.
It is interesting.
At least they only do it for like 5 minutes
Right.
tops.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he said. He said, we're going to do it for a very short period.
And popular demand definitely by the wide receivers. And Russ. There's no way the defense would be asking for this.
This blew my mind, Ryan, because I completely agree. Nathaniel Hackett said the linebackers were the ones that wanted this. Which is just like...
There's only like 3 of them anyway.
what?
Like which one was it who did it?
The linebackers actually held their own today.
Yes, they did. They did.
They're the only ones who don't have to worry about deep routes.
Maybe the linebackers wanted it so that their corners got burned, so then they eventually look better in coverage.
They should run that red zone corner route from Madden on them.
Oh,
They'll never cover that.
no, they certainly won't.
Both times they've run one-on-ones, the offense has wound up winning practice. Like I wonder if there's something to like a little
Confidence.
spark after
Yeah.
beating up on the defense a little.
Yeah. I mean, that's what former players have said on the offensive side is why they like it. Is it just it builds confidence, but it also builds momentum going into team periods.
I feel like Pat Surtain is so good that like even the offense respects him at like a higher level than to like talk smack to him.
right.
Like I was just listening to a podcast about how like you don't it was a hockey player talking about how like you weren't supposed to hit Gretzky, which is one of the craziest things to me.
Yeah.
Like he was just like on that plane. It was just like, yeah, like even if you're like a big defenseman, like don't hit Gretzky.
Wow.
And
I mean, what would happen to you if you did?
yeah, you'd have to fight.
Back in the day, you get mugged.
Yeah. So it was just like, that's so crazy. But that's almost how I feel. It's like you don't talk smack to Pat Surtain because you already know how good he is. Like Jerry, after he made the catch, I totally expected him to like do something.
Yep.
He just walked back.
Yep.
I was like, wow, dude, they're afraid of talk. Not afraid, but like they know it's just dumb to talk smack to him because he owns you like 99% of the time.
Yep, exactly. And what a fun matchup, Bama on Bama.
All right, we actually have to toss to Zach in Sports for an update. Do we have it?
Oh boy.
Well, right after the first incompletion of practice today, the Broncos ownership changed at 11:38 a.m. Denver time, 12:38 Central time. The NFL owners voted to agree to the purchase of the sale for the Walton Penner Group for the Broncos. What does it mean? Let's toss it back.
Thanks, Zach. It means basically nothing. Like we already knew all this was coming. We've already done the whole Walton Penner podcast. Nothing really changed today other than a bunch of billionaires said yep, we'll allow that billionaire into our club.
That's exactly what happened. And did you hear? So Goodell then introduced the group, and it was the
Goodell.
three of them. Yes, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Rob Walton, is that a power move?
Oh, I hope
Wow.
So that he introduced, or he thanked, the very first thing Rob Walton said after Roger Goodell introduced him was he said, thanks to Roger Goodell, Commissioner Goodell. He doubled down on it too.
so. Yep. He knew the reason I don't think it's a power move is because I felt like when it came out the first time, he's like, ooh, that didn't feel right. Let me try that again. And then it came out that way again. It would be a dope power move, though. I used to do that to my sister's boyfriends. By the way, my sister's 5 years older than me, so these guys were much older than me. Their name would be Andy, and I would call him Randy or something, and just see how long I could do it until they corrected me.
How long did it take?
A long time.
I bet it did.
I'm like, hey, but Randy, you want to play video games with me? Usually my sister would be the one to issue the correction.
That's amazing. You sound like a great younger brother.
Yes, yeah. Definitely trying to make their life difficult. Okay. Anything notable said by the Walton Penner group?
I was a little, I guess not surprised, but they did all three of them. So Rob Walton, Carrie Walton Penner, who is Rob Walton's daughter, and then her husband, Greg Penner, all spoke about the Bolin family, which I thought was a very good move, a very good PR move. But I wouldn't have been surprised if they had never mentioned them and just said we're doing it our own way. So I think it was very classy that they did do that.
Do you think they keep the Bolin names on the buildings? So the Paul D. Bolin Fieldhouse, the Pat Bolin Fieldhouse,
Yep.
Paul Bolin Center.
I think they do.
I bet they keep Pat Bolin.
Do you think they build a new building on the premises
And
that they
that's
can
the
name
thing.
after themselves?
That's the thing. Is someday they will. Those things aren't going to be there forever.
Oh yeah,
it's
they'll
probably
just build a whole new
20
facility
years.
eventually.
But yeah, I mean, I think they do. There's no reason not to.
At some point, that's going to become valuable real estate to build houses on. They'll sell it for that,
Yep.
and then go build in a cheaper place where they can put their facility. Because when they put the practice facility there, it was for that exact reason. Super cheap to put all that land there.
Yep.
Now there's houses on every which side of it.
Yep, and that's what I think happens is when they move the stadium out by the airport, which I think happens today, and they were asked about. I think they're also going to move their facility out there too, and then you're not bringing the names over. Your field house, you can leave that where it was.
Yep. By the way, a lot of people calling me Ryan Penner.
Oh,
Because I bring out the notepad every day.
wow, you have a similar wealth as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So what they said, they were asked about, one of the few questions they asked and answered was about the stadium. And Greg Penner said, Empower Field at Mile High is a world-class stadium. And then went on to say, we'll evaluate all of our options.
It's not a world-class stadium, but it is a class stadium. It's
in a
class.
class?
It's class.
It's class.
It is
It has
class.
some class.
It's just not world class, but it is in some sort of class, and it's just good enough, and that's why it doesn't need to move.
And I thought was very interesting. The Broncos released their own ownership hype video,
Yes.
which is about 1:40 long. And
Nothing
it was,
gets me more hyped than just old rich white guys.
and especially when there's a lot of pictures of the stadium involved. Intentional? Or did they just not know what to put? So they were like, what are stadium?
The Flatirons, stadium, sunsets, horses.
Rob Walton, Greg Penner.
Yeah, I wanted them doing the you know how they have the draftees do the little hype video and the ESPN thing at the combine? They spin the football. They should have had Rob Walton spinning a stack of 100s.
Oh, that would have been great. Signing checks in slow-mo.
Making it rain.
Tremendous.
I can't even imagine pitching that to that guy. It's like, hey, Rob,
yeah.
so here's what you're going to do.
Yeah,
We're going to get on this rotating, spinny thing on the ground. Just toss some $100 bills up in the air.
They put a picture of Roger Goodell on the floor, and he's just making it rain on Goodell's face.
By the way, we have to just make that a thing.
Yes,
it's Roger
yes.
Goodell now.
It's Roger Goodell.
That's what Bobby calls him. That's what I call him too.
Bobby Robson.
Robson.
Robson, that's his name.
Really?
Yep, Robson Walton.
That's so
Isn't that
douchey.
something else?
My favorite part of the day was Jerry Jones saying that he's always looked up to the Walton family. Like, that could not add up anymore. Like, Jerry Jones is a person who is his idol. The guy who started Walmart.
Yes.
Like, we're all in on, like, the Walmart family.
Right, right. Yeah, it's very true. One more thing, actually a couple more things. It was interesting when Rob Walton was talking about, he was asked, okay, you have a head coach here. That's a new head coach. You have a new quarterback here. You have person asking the question said, you have a first-time general manager, actually second-year general manager. But he was asked that and said, what do you think of this? And Rob Walton said, well, when we got into this process initially, we thought we may have to inherit a team with no head coach and no quarterback, but they've done a good job. So what that tells me is the team was put up for sale actually after they had hired Nathaniel Hackett. But so obviously he was in the works with this for a while, and he probably thought like, well, when it goes for sale, I'm just going to say $4.65 billion, and they're going to accept it. And so this was a slower process than he thought.
Interesting. All right.
One more thing, they mentioned that they were interested in buying the Broncos 10 years ago and had some initial conversations about that. Now, then they were asked about it again, and they said, oh, no, they were just like, inquiries and conversations. They never talked to Pat about it because at that point, Pat wasn't involved in the organization anymore. But they've had their eyes on the Broncos specifically for a while. So then it kind of shines a light on another quote that they said. They said the Broncos are the only sports organization that we would have purchased.
Interesting.
Yeah. And again, like, that's something you're going to say. Like, that just sounds good. But with everything else,
like
I buy it.
Kroenke saying, like, the Avs are the only...
Well, Kroenke has an empire.
Yeah.
Like, it's like when
they
you
could have that, too.
Yeah.
We buy an NFL team, though. Like, it seems like the kind of thing you say, like, this is the one team that I've always wanted. But I do kind of believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it too because
Colorado ties.
I think it was
Totally.
kind of a slip of the tongue saying that they were interested in it 10 years ago, because then when they were asked about it again, he really backed off and kind of said like, oh no, it was just very initial.
Imagine just having like
inquiries.
casual conversations with other billionaires, like, oh, we might be down to buy the Broncos.
right. And then an interesting thing is, I think it was Rob Walton who said this. He said Carrie and Greg live in Colorado. And then he said he has a house in Colorado, but he said they live in Colorado. So we're never questioning this before, but it's going to either be Greg Penner running it day to day or Carrie Walton Penner running it day to day, or both of them potentially.
Interesting. And they're all going to live on the Walton compound in Cherry Hills.
Probably. Yep.
It's crazy.
All right, let's give a shout out to the American Raptors. Head on down to Infinity Park at Glendale, where the games are free to watch the American Raptors. And the beer isn't free, but the fact that the game is free saves you, like, just helps your budget for what you have left over for beer. You can drink beers out there, spend some time in the sun. I have been doing that every day. I know you guys haven't, but I've been spending a lot of time in the sun, as you can tell from my tan. And also, like, that's just proof that I've been spending more time in the sun than you guys.
The burn on half my face doesn't do it for you.
I'm not seeing it.
Oh, thank you. It went away today.
You could spend time in the sun over at Infinity Park with your kids. Hang out with them, watch some great rugby. Rugby, again, even preseason football doesn't like fully satiate the football craving. Rugby might actually do a better job, just because you get to see like big hits and like just so much aggression and contact. So
That's what we love.
We do.
Aggression and contact. Actually, probably not any aggression and contact in golf. Maybe the one sport where that's like...
You make an aggressive move at the ball right before you contact.
Okay. You definitely make contact with the ball. So you can do that, and you can also win some really cool packages via their Dream Golf Vacation Raffle, which includes stay and play packages at Wailea Beach Golf Course in Maui, Whistling Springs, a Naples Golf Tour, and Palm Beach Golf Tour, as well as a $5,000 gift card to Bandon Dunes. So anyone that's interested, you head to coloradogolf.org to get your tickets, and all the proceeds go to two really cool organizations in the community. So check them out at coloradogolf.org to get your tickets.
There you go. All right, let's jump into the comments on the website.
And as we're pulling those up, just super quick, we're having some issues with the website now. So if you're not able to access the website, just know that we're working on it right now, as I'm not able to access it right now. So you guys are going to have to read some comments.
I'll take us through. Also, make sure that you're subscribed to this current YouTube channel we're on. We're also having a lot of technical issues that we'll obviously work through. But preseason for us too.
Nothing stops us.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get live, but if you had alerts and all that stuff set up, make sure you get it on this current YouTube channel that we're on. Hopefully we'll be back to the other one soon, but you'll always want this one as well. All right, first comment, unsurprisingly, comes in from Denver Rivals, who says, "Hey guys, thanks again for playing my song submission. Hope to hear it a lot more in the future. I also hope to see you all on October 15th at our Rivals Cornhole Tournament at Green Valley Ranch Beer Garden." Sounds pretty fun, actually.
Well, why isn't it a bags tournament?
Good question.
Ooh.
Times and registration will be released soon, but I'd love to see the DNVR fam there. It's finally able to make it to camp today, and I agree that the defense really showed up. Russ delivered a bomb, and Sutton made a catch. I was able to get Simmons, Kwan Williams, and Kareem Jackson signature. I was able to give Ryan Green a shout-out, too. Got a cool down after such a hot day. Excited for Saturday Broncos football, y'all. Y'all rule and support Denver Rivals.
Heck yeah, love to hear that. Thank you so
you're
much for
on
the
now.
support, Denver Rivals. I'm back.
Wow.
I'm back, baby. Yeah, it sounds like you had a great day out there, and I agree with you. Defense
He's talking about yesterday.
looking good.
Yeah, he's talking about yesterday.
Okay. Coach Tobin says, "I'm inspired." Quick story. Seeing what DNVR has blossomed into, I've decided to start my own business here. What do you all do on the daily and what you do on the daily and seeing how hard you work and where you started? It's truly inspiring. It made me think, why not me too? It's going well, and I'm truly grateful to be able to hear the pod and feel like family. Just know what y'all do flows to the listeners in many different ways. Also, who wins the punter battle? RK, keep putting pen to paper. It's the best way to do it.
Hell yeah, it is.
Congratulations, Coach Tobin. That's so cool to hear.
Yeah, that
means
is
a
so
lot.
cool. And just stay with it. Like, the most important part of a small business and starting a small business is surviving. Just do whatever you have to do to survive.
There are no tough times here. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
there were absolutely tough times here. And they say, like, if you survive 4 years, then you can survive forever. So that's my big advice is, like, put your head down, do whatever it takes, to make sure that you get over that 4-year hump.
There we go. I love it. SD Bronco 93 says, "Can't wait to see all you guys in London. Got my tickets, got my flight. Just need the location of the pub we're going to meet." Non-quick football related question. What's the longest you all have been on a plane for? A flight from San Diego to London is 10.5 hours if it's nonstop, and I absolutely have no patience, LOL. I have no clue what I'm going to do. That sounds like a dream for me.
A 10-hour flight?
The longer the better.
You're
What
so
the
weird,
hell?
dude.
My fiance thinks it's crazy,
No,
but
everyone thinks that.
I
You
could
like
just-
enjoy sitting on a plane?
yeah, I love the
Look
experience.
how small he is, dude.
I guess that would do it, wouldn't it?
He's like, yes, such a comfy seat, man. So much leg room.
Unless it's Frontier, then it's really not comfortable.
That's the only way
I
to
don't
get
think
to
we'll be flying
Montana.
Frontier to London.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
probably a
God.
good point.
How long? If it's so, he said 10.5 from San Diego. So you take off 2? It's 8.5 for us.
Yeah, I think it's about eight round or 8 nonstop. Doesn't
Are
matter
we
at
flying
all.
nonstop?
I think so.
Oh, sorry, Zach.
Yeah, you get to see a new airport.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I'm super excited. Also, you guys forgot to ask me about the plans after yesterday's pod.
I
so
know
I'm
we
gonna-
did. Well, no. You ran off
Yes.
to go do a podcast hit.
Oh yeah, I actually did
Yeah.
4 podcasts.
Exactly. And so while you were doing your 4 podcasts, we went over and asked Dre, and he said, "What? There's plans?"
Yeah, he's I don't know.
That's just him being a little like he like whines about those things.
Oh my goodness.
He probably knew, just didn't. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, that's
The
it.
longest flight you've ever been on.
I went to Israel from Philly, so Denver to Philly, Philly to Israel. I think it was 12 hours ish.
From Philly to Israel?
Yeah. Maybe it was 9.
Yeah.
I went to Scotland when I was in kindergarten. I'm not really sure how long the flight was, though.
Okay, good.
And I imagine it wasn't straight from
Good
Montana.
note. Good note.
I thought my longest was 16 hours. Google's telling me it's an 18-hour flight, but I think that seems too long. I went from Beijing to Chicago.
If you just go the other way, you would, it would be
Probably.
shorter. Yeah, I didn't mind though. Like the longer the flight, the more they hook it up. That is one thing I'll say. Like
Very
Oh.
true.
I had a TV with like
Yep.
unlimited options of things to watch. They brought me at least 2 different meals.
Yep.
Damn.
So that was good.
Yep. And if you're over 21, Henry, you may even get some alcohol in this one.
Oh, wow. Oh, you don't want to open that can of worms.
Nash Bronco says, my comment about the offense doing well yesterday was based on a collection of tweets I saw throughout the day while at work. Obviously, I need to pay better attention. LOL. It's hard to tell with the tweets.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the offense can bounce back today, but honestly, if this is the year of the passing game development with a strong run game, good defense that keeps us in games, I'm fine with that. But for only this year, I really want Russ to shine here. There's not betting on pro fishing yet, but another sports book that shall not be named, good job, recently became partners with one of the big leagues, so I think it's on the way. There's fantasy fishing, which is actually pretty cool and has less to do with luck than you might think. Since you guys wanted me to say something controversial, here you go. Chili Colorado is better than pork green chili. Chili is still better overall. Green is still better overall. What is chili Colorado? Is that red chili?
How do you not know?
Well, I assume
It must
based
be.
on the translation of Colorado, color red.
Right.
Chili Colorado would be
Look at
red
this.
chili.
Nashville Bronco, our guy, is more cultured about the chili in Colorado than we are.
I don't do red chili, and it has nothing to do with the fact that it's not delicious. It's just so inferior to green chili.
It's a beef stew.
Okay, so yeah, essentially.
Yeah, I view them very different.
So he's saying it's like pork
Big
green
beef
chili,
chunks.
but it's like beef red chili.
Yeah.
Yeah, I typically, if I'm having a bowl of chili, it's red chili. If I'm smothering
That's
something,
like a whole other type of chili. Like I'm talking about red chili, as in like red sauce.
Oh no, I would always go green sauce.
But in this case, it's like pork green chili, beef red chili, but
would
not like beans and all that stuff.
I would love to try it. I'll say that.
of course, I'd try any chili.
I will say, like sometimes I'll do the Christmas style, where you get red and green.
Yeah,
Oh.
It's good.
I'm so
They
hungry.
call that Christmas style? That's
Yep.
Makes sense,
okay.
you know, red
Yeah.
and green.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are Christmas colors.
The Big D says, okay. First of all, I have a weird, different definition of an athlete. I don't call sports people athletes. It's specific for people that compete in athletics for me. However, by most people's definition, an F1 driver would fall into that category of an athlete. They're hyper fit, all of them. They have to be. They have to do a lot of training, as much as most sports, specifically on their neck, but also all around cardio and strength too. The G-force they encounter in the cars is insane. Most people pass out driving around 5G. Drivers are insanely talented and fit, and the crashes can be over 50 Gs. He says Netflix has done a great job with Drive to Survive for what it's worth. You guys should give it a go if you're vaguely interested in F1 or motorsport. Highly recommend. On to Sir Lewis Hamilton, who calls Colorado his home now and has for some years. His other houses he classes as vacation houses: London, New Mexico, Monaco.
New York.
But New Mexico. I was thinking of green chili.
Yeah.
But his place of residence is Daybreak Ridge Road in Bachelor Gulch, a gated community near Beaver Creek. Sorry, Lewis.
You just doxed
Wow.
Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, holy cow.
What
Peace
time
out,
should we all
fellas.
meet there?
Peace out, fellas. Loving the show more than ever these days. You three are great together, and sorry for the long comment, the Big Tabowski. One thing about tomorrow, he's the only one of the ownership group that is not going to be there.
Yeah.
1 o'clock press conference.
Yep. What?
Oh, is it public?
That's
Yeah.
that's
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got the email.
didn't
Wait,
think
did you
that
know
was-
that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he didn't even tell me.
I was going to tell you when I saw you today.
Scoop
You
Stevens
are right
over
here. But also, everything he said about F1 drivers also applies to astronauts. Are they athletes?
No, because they don't play a sport.
And neither do F1 drivers.
Wow. Arvada Luke says, fellas, RK, I know a clever buff like you has been slow playing us with the X as a Roman numeral for 10 studio intro. See why I gotta spoil my plans.
Oh.
I was reviewing those dark days from the pre-Russ era, a century ago. It led to a few questions. Would you rather we have drafted Russ instead of Brock and he eventually took over for the Sheriff, or we had brought in Kyle Shanahan as head coach and drafted Josh Allen? How much more success do you think the franchise would have had in the last decade in these scenarios? I would definitely go Kyle Shanahan and Josh Allen.
So it's Kyle Shanahan, Josh Allen, or what?
Or Russ drafted instead of Brock.
You got to take the 2 instead of the 1.
Yeah, I'm taking Josh Allen.
I'm also not messing with the timeline. If we can just keep everything the same and keep that Super Bowl without, I know Russ instead of Brock should be only helpful, but still,
You are
just don't
you
touch
are
the timeline.
risking, yeah.
Just don't touch the
What
timeline.
if Peyton and Russ hate each other or something? Like,
Wow.
it throws off the chemistry.
Yeah.
Also, Kyle Shanahan and Josh Allen. Josh Allen's my favorite player in the NFL. So,
Yeah. It's hard not to like him.
he says, also, given Rippon's involvement and apparent progress this offseason, it seems that Russ is a bit more inclusive or tolerant of young QB talent than Peyton was. Presuming that we have Russ on a 6-ish year deal, when and how should we go about getting younger talent in behind him, potentially for the post-Russ era? As I famously made up, if you're planning for the future, the best time to start is yesterday. We have the Duke and the Sheriff in Broncos Country lore. What is Russell, given his proclivity to ride, some kind of horseman? Cheers, I've added Luke.
I think he's Russ. Yeah, just Russ. Keep it simple. But also,
I think he's Sierra's husband.
there you go.
Yeah.
The future is Russ right now. You don't have to be thinking about the future at quarterback.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about the future at quarterback, if it's not Russell Wilson, then you have a massive issue on your hands.
Yeah, but it's like Aaron Rodgers was drafted, a few years before Brett Favre. So,
But not 6.
I think that's the scenario. Is someone who's super talented who falls in the draft. Like, you're not doing it now, but 3 years from now, someone super talented falls in the draft and, like, you have the 31st pick. And you're just like, screw it. Let's take it.
Yeah. Ideally, what, 1 year on the bench? Two.
That just doesn't happen anymore, though. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
for
Pat
the most
Mahomes did it.
For 1 year, and he's like the only person in forever.
Yeah. But
Worked
it
out.
was a unique scenario where they had Alex
Yeah.
Smith and he was legit.
And it's like Minnesota brought in Kellen Mond, but he sucked. In an alternate universe where he played better last year, they probably don't give Kirk Cousins the extension.
yeah.
Said he's probably getting cut.
I don't think you should be looking for a replacement in this first contract.
I agree.
Okay.
I do agree.
From Onion Booty Bronco, Zach, RK, and Hank. Hello, it's been a minute and a half since I commented. Hope you haven't forgotten about the booty. I sure haven't forgotten about you. I remain steadfast in my listening practice damn day. I return to you with pleasant news. I will be attending Russ's inaugural home match at Mile High. I will be stopping by the bar. I can't wait to see it. Maybe we can imbibe in a Breckenridge brewski or 10 together. Hank, I welcome you aboard belatedly. I love your energy and perspective. You also have a kind face. Broncos Country, let's ride. With love, Onion Booty Bronco.
Burnside's over here. Nobody can see it.
Booty spreading love to Hank. There we
I've
go.
never
Booty
thought of
spread.
that term before, but Hank does have a kind face.
I do have a kind
Like if you
face.
saw him in public, you'd be like, that guy's probably nice.
Also,
Yeah.
if any of these new owners call a game a match, that's a red flag. Lewis Hamilton absolutely could
What
do
if he
it.
calls it a Grand Prix?
the
He's like, I'm so
Prix
excited
on
for the
Sunday.
the Seattle Grand Prix in week 1.
It's like the good old thing. Rob Walton could show up and just be like, yeah, so when's the match? And you're just like, whoa, this is a red
We're
flag.
not talking about polo, buddy.
yeah.
Next one coming in from Bronco. It says, afternoon, guys. I'm curious now that we're a couple of weeks into camp, what has been your thoughts on Nathaniel Hackett and the staff thus far? How have they been more or less of what you expected? How does this camp compare to past ones with Fangio and Joseph? What has surprised you most about this staff thus far? The pressers tend to be a lot better these days, but that's all I can really see from my end. Cheers.
I feel like the players are like happier. It's just one thing I've noticed. Like they just seem like they're in a good mood, except for Draymond Jones. But it just feels like everyone's like smiling, having a good time out there. One skirmish that seems like it's low. I feel like usually by this point of camp we're at least at 4.
Skirmish on Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
There's got to be a skirmish.
Yeah.
No, that
No
would be bad.
skirmish?
No, team on team?
No, against the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like one team against another team?
Yeah.
I think there's a skirmish.
I'm going to say no.
I think there's.
Yeah, we're going.
Okay.
I'm pro skirmish.
Wait, pro skirmish or think there's a skirmish?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's not going to happen.
Think and wanted. It always does when joint practices happen.
No.
Yeah, it happened with the Bears. It happened with the Niners.
Okay, I'm going to take the no. I'm still taking no.
Ooh.
Plus 200.
There we go. I love it.
Oh.
The one thing I just don't like is like what you were saying earlier today about how like Nathaniel Hackett was like, maybe I wouldn't have done that, but it's practice. Like,
Yeah.
You need to approach practice like the games.
Yeah.
But like you go kick the field goal then? That's no fun. A punt. You got punt on that first
You're
one?
practicing what you would do in a game. That's supposed to be the point.
If I have to watch one more punt practice, I'm going to lose my mind.
By the way, someone asked about the punting competition. I'm pretty sure it never started because Zach got laughed at for asking about it, which I think was because he was saying like it's not really a competition. We just brought that guy in so we can have left-footed punts.
Shank from Sam Martin today, though.
of really bad
Big
shank.
ugly one.
What I was told, Ryan, because I agree with you, it was the opposite. It was
Obviously.
why would we have 2 punters here if it's not a wide open competition?
Oh, I love to hear that.
And I was also told
That's why I'm part of the waiters.
I was told trust your eyes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Corliss crew.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Corliss
Come on,
getting a lot of
one name.
attention.
No, it's the Corliss crew, aka the waiters.
Oh my
my
god. G Ham says hello, fellas. Been a while since I've commented on the pod. Just wanted to drop by and give you all fighter pilot call signs.
What does that mean?
He's a fighter pilot, so
Have you-
he's
Don't ask me if I've seen Top Gun.
Have you not?
No.
The hell is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you, Ryan?
There was a sports game on that day.
It's every day. It's
Exactly.
there. Not the sports. The movie
No,
is.
so are sports.
Oh my God!
They're
Go
there
watch
every
that
day.
movie. Have you seen the first one?
Ryan doesn't go
No.
to movies. You
Oh.
didn't know this, Hank?
No,
I don't
That's
watch
like
movies,
a
but it's
well-known
Top
fact
Gun.
of Ryan.
It's
It's not
Top
that I
Gun.
don't watch movies. I don't watch anything except sports.
Watch Top Gun.
I have seen
Oh
the
my
first
goodness,
one.
those are 2 of my favorite movies.
Wow,
Also, I
first
really
and
don't like
second.
Tom Cruise.
Okay, but that's
Big Tom
separate. It's
Cruise
about the
guy.
movie. Separate the art from the artist. That's what D-Line always says about the canceled people.
By the way, speaking of D-line designing things, Nathaniel Hackett was wearing a shirt on Saturday.
The Dark Side?
The Dark Side one.
Wow.
And he was asked, like, oh, can you tell us about your shirt? And he said, yeah, D-line created it for me. And I was like, oh, my God. And then it took me a second. I was like, oh, the defensive line.
Yeah. Also, they should have had D-Line make that shirt
Yeah.
because that one kind of sucks.
I don't know if it sucks, but it could be better.
Okay. fair
Okay,
enough.
your call sign, Ryan. Yours is Ryan Tiger Koenigsberg for all the love of golf and gambling.
Yeah, actually, when I was a kid, my dad called me Tiger.
I like that. That's a good
Wow.
nickname. Zach, yours is Zac Diva Stevens for obvious reasons.
This is the best fake narrative we've ever created.
I love it.
Henry, yours is Hank Sprinkler Chisholm because your laugh kind of sounds like a lawn sprinkler. LMAO.
I was thinking because I'm about to run to the bathroom as soon as it's over.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to say to make it rain. 'Cause you like to make it rain.
So, like, when do you use these call signs?
So when you're up in the plane, you're like,
Yeah.
Diva, we got bank left.
Oh,
Diva.
so they're just nicknames.
Yeah, essentially. So
Yeah,
we
but they're
use
sick.
them in non-pilot terms or non-pilot situations when like we're doing our pods and our videos and stuff.
Cool. Sounds good.
Take it away, Tiger.
Diva. Big Hank Stan says Broncos fans have long been beating their heads against the wall about the right tackle
Yes.
position. The team, however, has not solved the issue. Is it possible that with mobile QBs becoming the trend, the position is not as highly valuable as it once was? Locke was mobile and had a very low sack rate. Russ has played behind poor O-lines for years. Are we, the fans, out of step with what the coaches value? So they expect mobile QBs to essentially normalize the right tackle in terms of paying out huge contracts to the position. I don't think so.
Especially now that they have the outside zone. Like you're running right so much
Yep.
and right at that tackle.
Yep.
Maybe trade for Tevin Jenkins. He's on the block. 2nd round pick last year. He was awesome. Before he got the NFL.
What's his issue?
Oh, he sucks.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
He finishes also, Zach, you were spot on about the Sutton Darby baby front pack mossing. As a dad, I can confirm your analogy. Hank, your Twitter game today was next level.
Thank you.
Love Big Hank
working
Stan.
on
Was he
it.
being sarcastic, or did you bring your game up a little bit?
I don't remember any good tweets.
Ah, sad.
And Big Hank Stan finishes this out by saying, Zach, can I get a
Muted.
for old time's sake?
I can bring it back now.
There you go. You were like video muted yesterday when you were messing with Alexis's hair.
Yes, I was. Thank goodness. The best muted I've ever had. YO Bronco says, howdy, gents. Been a long while since I commented, but I'm still listening most every day. I appreciate all you guys do to bring the people great content. Can you listen most every day?
Most every day, yeah.
Most every day?
It's like every day, but not actually.
Most. Okay, so it's not every day.
It's not every day.
So it's most
every day.
days.
Yeah.
Also,
That's
clean
another
that
way
up.
of saying that.
Yeah.
Every day.
That's
should be
not-
every
yeah.
day.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Wild Bronco, Hank's calling you out here. Also, as of today, Sheriff Pikey and I will be attending the Texans game, and we are both beyond stoked to come to the DNVR bar. We are both hoping to get in on the tailgate party beforehand and hang with other diehards. As a side note, this is my first in-person Broncos game. Got any tips that a first-timer needs to know before going into the game? Go Broncos DNVR, and cheers to RK, Zach, and Hank.
Did he
We
just-
love you, Wild Bronco.
Did you just tell us he's bringing the cops to our party?
I think so. so. Yes, Sheriff
Tipton County?
Pikey.
Is that in Colorado? Jeff Pikey's a sergeant in the sheriff's office in Tipton County.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
Wow.
don't
We'll have to be
arrest
on our
me.
P's and Q's.
Yeah, I never am. All right, I think is that it? Is that what we got?
That's
You were
it.
just like
That's it.
pulling random ones out. Did I miss that one?
You must have, yeah.
All right,
I don't
sounds-
think I made that up.
Right. It
What
would've
if I
been-
did?
That would have been an
And
incredible-
one more here coming from.
It's like, never mind. All right, that is going to wrap it up for us today. Hit us with a thumbs up on your way out. We especially need the thumbs ups today because we are not broadcasting to as large of an audience on our backup channel here. So you got to help us boost it up and get it into their feeds. We appreciate everyone who did find us today and tune in, and we will catch you tomorrow.